Welcome to Mobile Armor Radio, the podcast for all things mecha. Jumpship incoming.
Welcome to Mobile Armor Radio. This is episode 27. Can you believe we got to 27?
Ooh,
My name's Rob.
I'm Brian.
And I'm Chopper.
So we made it to episode 27, and we're gonna have
Season 3, episode 3.
I have no idea what you're talking about. It's gonna be a fun-filled show, and maybe we'll talk about some stuff. I have a lot to talk about with my other stuff, so hopefully you guys did something. Did you guys do something this time?
I may have. I might actually have something to report.
Yay.
Excellent.
I've done some other things. I have not worked on much.
Oh well. We'll get to it.
Yeah.
So we'll be back with Dropship.
Dropship landing.
And welcome to the Dropship. This is what we're working on. Who's going to start today? Brian, I know you have something, so I'm going to go to Pat. Pat, what have you been working on?
I actually almost zerally nothing, because I have switched gears in my life, and I am now working day shift.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so I'm still trying to get my body used to get up at what time I would normally be going to bed.
Oh.
So in that case, then things are all iffy and wonky, and I haven't even made it down to the basement in, I would say, probably 3 weeks. I think I went down to the basement just to do laundry. That's about it. So pretty much literally nothing. As far as modeling and stuff is concerned, I'm starting to get the itch now again, which I'm hoping means that things in my life are starting to reach an equilibrium now where my body's used to everything. So here's hoping for that.
That'd be nice.
Yep, that'd be good.
Yeah, so honestly, nothing, just nothing.
Oh, well.
I don't know how much more. I don't know how much more nothing I can explain.
None more. I'll go next. I 3D printed a Marauder and a Mad Cat a while ago. I think we talked about it in 28mm scale, so big. And I finally painted them. And I posted the pictures on the Facebook page and in the Discord.
How did I miss that?
You were together when we painted them.
No, I didn't see you post it, though. How did I miss the posts?
I'm pretty sure I posted it. It's been a while now.
I think you did.
I definitely did. And my Marauder I did as the Cowhounds, so it's red and black. And my Mad Cat I did Clan Wolf Beta, so it's kind of beigeish on top and a charcoal on the bottom. And I like them. They're on my shelf with my Battletech stuff now. I also 3D printed a Ed 209 that is huge. I'm in the process of painting him now.
I remember you doing the Ed 209.
Yeah, he took a while. Each limb took like days. And he's quite large, so he's gonna be fun. And then I've been 3D printing random mechs. Just ones I found on Thingiverse or stuff. Just random mechs that I found. And some Battletech stuff. Not much though, but mostly just random stuff. So that's all my working on has been 3D printed stuff. I don't think I've actually bought a model in a while.
I don't think you posted your pics of those mechs, those Battletech mechs on the page.
I almost guarantee I have.
I am past the Kickstarter. I'm past the last episode.
I might posted them before the last episode. Maybe did I talk about them last episode?
I think we talked about it because I painted mine last episode.
Yeah, I was in the process of painting them.
Yeah. So now, I've reached my painted Marauder.
Well, if I didn't post them, they'll be up before these people even know.
Or will they?
They're definitely on the Discord. I know I post them there. See, more reason to go to Discord, people. Join our Discord. They're right here. I posted them on July 26th. Aha! I'm not crazy. I knew I wasn't crazy. Brian, please let us know what you indeed did work on.
Okay, well, I got a little bit of the hobby bug, and I did a couple of things actually. One of the first things I did was you guys are familiar with Uncertain Scenery, but basically it's this really cool MDF board sets basically you can get for a variety of games, including I think they have some 15mm scale and then 28mm scale. But one of I can't even say recent updates he did because I got these a while ago, is the guy's an engineer, and he's like this MDF is like high quality. It's really solid. And sorry, I just saw a notification.
Yeah, I sent Pat the pictures that I posted.
Okay. I was scrolled up, so it's just like, Brian, let us know when you're ready. I'm like, what?
Yeah, so the Uncertain Scenery, it's great stuff, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And, but he did, some roadways a while back, and I had, bought a bunch of them, and they'd just been kind of sitting in storage, and I just kind of got the bug, and I'm just like, I'm gonna actually put these together. So I did, the roadways a while back, and then I did a couple of these like T-sections tunnel systems that he's put together that are really, really cool. So basically what it means in terms of like a game like Dead Zone, which is played on a 2-foot by 2-foot, basically I've got 5 of these boards that fit that at 1 foot apiece. So basically I can do a whole game of Dead Zone with these board pieces, which all fit together and line up, and it's just really cool looking. And but yeah, so that was one thing. So I have some roadways now, and then one of the other things is I finally got around to assembling my Escaflowne kit, and that was a lot of fun. I just kind of picked it up one day. I'm like, all right, it's time to finally put this thing together, and it was kind of nice because it had some of the detail already painted on it. So things like on its faceplate, there's some finer lining and stuff like that. It does that fun thing where you have like stickers to go behind shiny things. So that you have like reflective stickers and then translucent like crystals that you put on to. I don't know if you guys have kind of seen the kit now, and as well as the anime or what have you. But it's got like, it's all magically powered as opposed to any kind of nuclear thing going on. And so it's a pretty awesome kit. It's pretty posable. My only like a little critique I had was that they gave you a cloth cape and a plastic cape. And the plastic cape is all red, and it has some of the finer details like on the back where like little clippies would be for the cape itself. But the cape is two-tone. It's supposed to be red and like dark blue.
Uh-huh.
The cloth cape is, but it lacks those little details.
They want you to paint it. That's the problem.
The instructions, like all the pictures that they show, have the plastic cape on, but with it painted.
Yeah.
So it's just like, And I don't really have paint that's, I think, good for those models right now.
You can use regular... Pat, you use this regular airbrush paint, like regular...
Well, I don't have an airbrush.
No, I mean just like, that's just regular acrylic paint or whatever, right?
Yeah.
You just get, afterwards you just have to hit it with some gloss or something to make it look the same as the rest. Well, I guess a cape you don't want it glossy. You want it matte.
Yeah.
When I saw that kit, it looked like a Bandai kit, the way it was assembled. Like you showed the assemble stuff, and it looked very familiar, but then I'm amazed it's not Bandai.
Yeah, it's, I forget what the
yeah, it's some, I remember looking it up, it's some weird name, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it kind of has that internal skeleton, that's pretty common, where it lets you do posable joints for things like the wrists and the elbows, shoulders, things like that. Had kind of creative ways to include some of the finer elements, like the big jewel that's on its chest, is like a clip on to the front of it. So yeah, it's a fun kit. I still have it out, and I think the only other thing that was like I had a little trouble with was the sword was on its the sprue for it, and the sword came painted. But like if the molding connectors were like partway down the blade.
Yeah, so it chipped it off a bit.
Yeah, it chipped a little bit on the blade part, but
yeah, it's funny when they do that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's a really nice kit.
Yeah, that's a really good kit.
The company's Modroid. Is that the company who makes it? I'm looking at that box right now that you posted.
Yeah.
And I think it's Modroid. If that's the company name. It looks like it. But it's cool. Yeah, it's got some clear plastic stuff on it and some accents, so it's neat.
And I should also specify, because it happens in the show, this is not a transforming figure. In the show, that it could turn into like a little dragon form.
Yeah, that's right.
And fly around. That would be a little tricky to pull off with this kit.
It's so long since I've actually watched. Good Smile Company is. It looks like that's.
Smile.
Modroid must be the type of mech, and then like the type of the line or whatever. But Good Smile, yeah, it looks cool. And where'd you get that from?
I got that from Hobby or HLJ.com, so Hobby Link Japan.
So you actually got it, shipped over.
Yep. I pre-ordered that one way back in the day.
Were they all the instructions in Japanese?
Yes.
Yeah, I've had a few kits like that. It's usually alright, you can follow the instructions.
And it had some optional like gluing bits, but for the most part it snapped together just fine. So
I love when there's like an exclamation and you're like, I wonder what that means.
Right.
It means glue.
Yeah.
But the only other thing I can think of that I've worked on was the two of my Striders for Dead Zone, my kind of more famous Goof and Easy 8 Strider kits had fallen on some hard times, and some of their joints were getting some wear and tear, so some of like the arms were falling off and stuff like that. So I had to green stuff them back to health.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Just some maintenance.
Mm-hmm. Eventually, though, I do want to do my next pass at doing like one of those kind of themed Strider kits. And I think it would just have to be the Gundam Mark II.
That's hard, because at least the goofs, the shape is sort of there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, you should do the new Spectra as the Gundam.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
It's much more humanoid shaped, right? Like that might work.
It could work. We'll have to see. I need to get my hands on that kit. It looks sweet.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll talk about it in ComStar.
I'll see what I can do.
So, but that wraps up my hobby time so far.
Okay, we'll go to ComStar and we will discuss some more stuff.
Message from ComStar.
And welcome to ComStar. We're going to discuss a few things, and we will mention that that new Asterian Spectra for Dead Zone from Mantic. It is available to purchase. It is a quite large kit. It seems a lot larger than a Strider. I haven't really seen many comparisons to them, but it looks big. It's also leaping off a wing of a plane, so I think it's going to be a nice size on the. You're not hiding that anywhere on the Dead Zone board.
No.
It's not too big, but the base makes it bigger. That's for sure.
I think he's much taller than a Strider. Striders are kind of stocky. They're like, this guy's lengthy, or lithe, as it were.
He's wiry.
And he's, it is cool. If anybody hasn't seen it, it comes with two options. You can either have him with a gun or a sword, and he also got he has a clear, like, plastic shield, so it looks like it's an energy shield.
Energy shield.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a really cool effect.
Yeah, it's cool. It's one of those things where you have to make sure you don't glue it together before you paint it, so you can put the shield on after, or you have to mask it off, I guess, which would be a pain.
Yeah.
But it is a beauty to behold, and I was going to grab one at Gen Con, which that didn't work out.
Never happened. What is this Gen Con you speak of?
Yeah, we're definitely we're in the post I miss Gen Con blues right now.
It's a relic of the past.
It's all gonna be virtual gaming conventions.
They've canceled New York Comic Con, which is in February next year.
Which is right around the same time that Chicago Comic Con is too.
And Adepticon, so we'll see if it even happens next year, which would suck.
Yeah.
But
It's gonna be rough.
Yeah.
I think a small convention, FlintCon, is going to be going on in Michigan. I think that one's in February. As of right now, it's still planning to go forward, but
I blame Florida.
Well, the thing with New York Comic Con, it is also like 100,000 people, so this is going to be a big one.
Right.
Like, what is even Adepticon's like 7,000 people? It's pretty small comparatively. So, but Chicago Comic Con though,
it's probably more in the hundreds.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. So, but I think Chicago Comic Con, like C2E2, that's probably at least 50,000. So I would be surprised if they don't start announcing cancellations, that kind of thing. But that would suck because it was fun times. But we'll see. Hopefully it all works out.
I like living.
Yeah, it's our choice, eh? I like C2E2 a lot, though.
Yeah, I do too.
Also, point out there, I don't know if anybody's ever been to the website for Camo specs. It's Battletech paint guides, kind of, and shows you what color schemes for different mechs for Battletech. They have a YouTube channel now, it's got all these different painting tutorials and stuff, showing you how to do like gem cockpits and different weapon effects and how to modify weapons and stuff. It's pretty fun. So if anybody's interested in Battletech and they haven't been to this YouTube channel, it's Camo Specs Online in YouTube. We'll have the links to everything here in the show notes. So there's that. And also there's a new mech game coming out, new mech tabletop game from Ash Barker. He's done a lot of stuff with what's the company he works for? Man, I can never remember.
I don't know either.
It's he doesn't work for him. He's a freelancer, but he's always puts his games out through Osprey.
Osprey.
Yeah, Osprey Games. So he's got a new game coming out called Gamma Wolves. It's post-apocalyptic mecha warfare. But the best thing about this is it's a proxy game, so it doesn't come with its own miniatures. It's a book. All these Osprey games are like this. They don't make miniature lines; they just make books. So this one's going to be use whatever mechs you have, and I think it's 3 different sizes is the base of the game. So you have like a small mech, a medium mech, and a big mech, so that you can use whatever you have around. So that's going to be fun. I pre-ordered that. We'll have the link to the pre-order on Amazon, and I have to thank Beetle for pointing that one out to us. He makes me spend more money, but looks fun.
Hey, Beetle.
Beetle. Yeah.
Mr.
So
Beetle.
yeah. Once again, we didn't get Adepticon to see Beetle this year, but that camp or Gen Con. Yeah, it does go. Yeah, that's right. He always does at the Mantic night.
He's the official chronicler of Mantic night.
Yeah, he always takes a lot of pictures for sure. Sometimes incriminating evidence. But anyways, this game, you could also go to their Facebook page and you can see the development of it. It looks pretty fun. Like I said, I pre-ordered, so we'll have to check that out once it comes out. We'll have a little review of that. As for myself, that I've been doing, since I'm talking so much, I might as well get mine out of the way. There's a new, video game I've been playing called Merc Company. It's pretty much Mech Commander 2, I think, redone. It's on Steam. It's pretty fun. It's like old school graphics and stuff, but it's like playing, Mech Warrior, like the new Mech Warrior 5, but old school. So it's pretty fun to just run around in that with the classic kind of graphics and stuff. It brings back good memories. So
How much is it?
Oh, it's like $20, I think. It was pretty cheap.
Yeah, it's about 12 right now, and that's no sale. It's early access.
This is, once again, this is Canadian I'm talking. It's $20. Another early access is a game called Dual Gear. It's sort of turn-based, but it's also sort of like action game. And it's mechs, once again. It reminds me kind of a little bit, like the world kind of reminds me of Genlock. Kind of that same aesthetic, kind of. And you're in these giant mechs and you're fighting things. I've only started the game, so I don't know much about the story, but it's pretty fun. And it's turn-based that you have time to do stuff, but you also have a lot of maneuvering, like you have to move around, which is live action. So it's an interesting game. It's a nice kind of mix between the two. And that's once again in early access. And that was, I think it's still in early access. It was pretty cheap too to get it. I think it was only like $30 again. So
20 US.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, check out those video games because it's a great time to be a mech fan. There's a lot of games out. So, and of course the other big news that I've done is watch Transformers War for Cybertron Siege on Netflix. I'm sure you guys watched it. Both of you watch it?
Oh yeah.
Not yet. Sorry.
You haven't watched it yet, Brian? We won't do any spoilers,
Brian.
though.
I've been busy.
It's short, though. It's only like, I think total it's like 2 hours long. It's only like,
Yeah.
it's fun. It's very G1. It's way more G1 than I expected. It's obviously, there's a tweak to it, but it's like prequel to G1.
It's almost like the IDW books that we're reading.
Yeah, it's, you could feel that it's still in that world, but they added, there's a lot of new characters that weren't in G1, but they tweaked a few of the characters. But I thought it was really fun. And it's way better than any of the Transformers movies, so you got that going for him. And, yeah, I really, I had some fun watching that, and it's quick, and you can watch it. I'm sure most people listening to this, other than Brian, have watched it already. But, it's definitely a good one. I can't wait for the next, there's supposed to be 3 of, different ones.
Yeah. It's only, what is it? It's only like 6 episodes?
Yeah, I think it's 6 half-hour episodes. I think that's what it is, yeah.
Okay.
Quick.
You can definitely binge it, Brian.
Yeah. I think I watched it in 1 or 2 nights. Like, it was quick. And, yeah, if you have Netflix, especially.
Mm-hmm.
But it's, yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. The art's, it takes us a little bit getting used to. It's very, cel-shaded kind of, almost video game cutscene kind of art. It's done by the same people as Genlock, then having mentioned that. It's that same company, so it has that, but it's...
I'll be honest, I think I'm getting used to that kind of art, because I did not, even just thinking back, it doesn't stick out in my mind that it was that kind of artwork.
The only thing I found with it was some of the characters, since there's a lot of the same molds, just different colors, and very slightly different colors, you get confused sometimes. So, is this character? No, it's this character. Because they have a lot of different Autobots and Decepticons in it. Like, there's probably 30 Seekers in it, and there's
so many Seekers.
Yeah, and the Chromia, and there's another one that looks so similar that I got confused at points. They're the two girl robots.
It's the one girl. Yeah, I forget what her name is.
Yeah.
Chromia, and it was
I can't remember.
Optimus Prime's woman, right?
Yeah, and then there was another one too, I think. Like I said, there was a lot of the same molds, just like the toys.
There was a red and silver.
And there was a blue one, and then there was like a teal one, and they were so similar in color that I was like, oh, they're the same person, but they're not. And there was a few like that, but generally you get to know the characters, and they all have their own personalities. None of the voices. It's not Peter Cullen or Frank Welker as Megatron, but by now we get used to that. But it's still really good, and I think the heart of all the characters is there. It's slightly different, and they added a lot of new people that weren't in original G1, but it's pretty fun.
I enjoyed it. I think it's a good revision. And
Jetfire is like a major character, and he's my favorite character in Transformers, so I was happy to see him.
Yeah,
so
my favorite character was in there too, so Soundwave.
Soundwave's cool, yeah. Yeah, it hit, I think every character was in there. There's so many characters in the show. But it makes me excited for the next one. Although the next one's supposed to have some Beast Wars stuff, which is interesting. I don't know how they're going to fit that in at this time, because Beast Wars takes place way after, so it's I don't know if there's some timey-wimey stuff going on, or we'll see what happens. Yeah, I would assume so. If they're trying to fit Beast Wars in with this, it's odd. but we'll see. That's only a rumor anyways at this point.
Rumor has...
Yeah. I also watched all of Ghost in the Shell. I binged all the way through that. And I love Ghost in the Shell. It is so good. And Standalone Complex is such a good series, if anybody hasn't watched that. And
you didn't catch the new season.
The one on Netflix? I haven't watched that one yet.
Yeah.
I heard it's not great. It's that computer animation, too. It's, like, really overly done. Arise, though? Have you watched any of the Ghost in the Shell Arise?
I didn't get around to that one either.
It's like a prequel / reboot, and I don't like it as much. It was fun, but it was the characters are just enough different that after watching so much of the other stuff, you're like, oh, this doesn't really fit in. But, cause it really reboots how they meet and how they interact. Like, a lot of them are much more jerks than they were in the original show, where you kind of like them, so.
That's always a shame.
Yeah, it was good. It was odd choices. It was, I don't know why they did it, but Japanese do that a lot. They just reboot their whole series and we're like, yeah, just accept it.
Yeah.
But they rebooted it in the middle of the other series, so I don't really understand why they did it. But, yeah. Standalone Complex, though, the original, I think there's 2 main series and then the new one that just came out on Netflix. Those are the ones to watch. And obviously the movies.
And a movie, there was a movie made for the Standalone Complex series.
Yeah, it's called the new movie or something like that.
Well, Solid State Society is the one I'm thinking of.
Yes. Oh, yeah. There's also those are like OAVs too. Like there's a bunch of different ones.
There's so much.
It's confusing. Yeah, it's confusing the timeline, but yeah, but it's all good. Yeah. So I think that's me. How about you guys? How about Brian? Have you been watching anything or doing anything, playing any video games or anything?
I haven't really been watching much lately, but I know I've posted a couple of little like indie games that were kind of mech themed. Basically, there's this gaming site called itch.io, itch.io, and it's like a really cool space for indie game developers. And like one thing they do is they have a lot of what they call game jams. So basically you have like typically like 48 hours to make a game and turn it in. And they're a blast to do. And so I just happened to follow somebody on Twitter that was working on one of these projects, and that's the Mech N Parcel by Robo Dusty. And I don't know if you guys had a chance to check it out, but basically and these games are like free, cause they're just little fun projects. But it's basically like if you played Zelda 2 on the NES, I forget what the heck that one was like subtitled. But,
I don't know, yeah.
Yeah, it's the second Legend of Zelda game on the NES. And, basically there's like an overworld map, and then it switches to like a platformer side
scroller kind of thing.
Yeah. And they play with that concept a little bit. You can go between these towns, so it's a very short game.
That was the Adventure of Link, right? The second one.
I think so. Yeah. I'm like, Link's name is in there somewhere.
I've been thinking about it. I go, it's the Adventures of Link.
Yeah. So if you like that kind of game, feel free to check out Mech N Parcel. I mean, it's not a full game by any means, but it's a fun couple of minutes to check out. And it's that old 8-bit like aesthetic with a mech kind of theme to it. So it's all like really pixel graphics and stuff like that. So I'm always down for that kind of art and style. And then I found another one. I'm going to scroll up to it here. What the heck was that one called?
Almace? Is that the one?
Almace? Yeah. And basically, I think that was another project that was done as part of like a game jam. And the concept was like, okay, what if Armored Core came out on the NES? What would that look like? And so like a big emphasis was like on making combat fast. And so it's done from like a first person perspective almost, and then you've got like an opponent that's basically on a small little icon on the screen that's moving around, and so you're just basically like moving your cursor to target and shoot at it. So really simple things, but like it's clever. Like that's one of the fun things about these indie games is how much they really play with concepts and ideas, and you get something new and different. And they have a whole category that is projects that are tagged with Mecha in them. So if you want to check out like small indie game projects that just play a little bit here and there, like commitments like maybe 10 minutes, but again, fun little things. Definitely check it out. But that's pretty much sums up what I've been doing. With the last little asterisk being, I'm working my way out of playing a lot of fantasy and reading a lot of fantasy stuff. And oh boy, do I have a hankering to play Metal Gear Solid 5 again. But what have you been up to, Pat?
Just a little bit of things. Like I watched War for Cybertron, like Rob we were talking about. I've been reading up on the new Robotech RPG book. It's kind of nice. It's I'm still kind of piecing together the character creation part of the game, but it's I think it's going to be a little fun little game if we ever get around to playing it. If we're able to get around to playing tabletop games again.
Right.
But with the advent of Roll20 and everything else, it's easier to play these things while still being distanced.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a real nice character creation system. You got to pick what you want to be, and you got to pick a path, how you're going to be that guy, and everything. So it's a little bit kind of set how you want to decide what you want to go. So it's not even an open skill set list too. I think each path gives you different sets of skills that you can have them too. So it's kind of cool.
Okay.
Nice.
So you can't. Yeah, it's kind of let's say you pick a pilot, and then any paths there are kind of pilot specific paths then now. So it's hard to kind of make just kind of everything all character.
Yeah, it makes sense. Especially in the military, like I assume you're in the game, you probably serve on the SDF or something, SDF-1 or.
You could be a little bit of everything. You could be a guy you could be own a restaurant, the guy in town. Apparently,
it's based on the Macross, right? The early part of Robotech.
Yes, it
doesn't have any of the later stuff.
No, you can actually play as Andrade too.
That's all the first.
You can play. It's so it's before the Invid.
No Invid, yeah.
But you can definitely play a miniaturized Andrade as a spy, or you could be what do they call them?
Do you just instantly fall in love with Min-Mei, and that's the end of your game?
Yeah, not me. I think I might be
Min-Mei,
I hate
roll a will check.
Yeah, you hear her voice
a lot. I hate her character a lot.
Yeah.
We can win.
The same song over and over again.
Well, what do you call those guys when you flip sides?
Turncoats?
No,
traitors.
Defector.
No, defector.
You can be a defector.
Yeah, let's go like Miria or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, like Miria. Yeah, definitely Miria. So
that's cool.
There's cool too, and I think you can actually play a defector Zentradi who's not miniaturized too, so you could be a really tall, big guy.
Like Britai.
Yeah, Britai. That'd be fun.
So it's pretty cool. So it stays pretty true to the Robotech.
That does sound fun.
Person. So still reading that. I guess anything else? I think I got trying to finish up the Transformer comic books that me and Rob were supposed to read that we've let slip through the cracks.
We?
Or I.
Who's this we, Kimosabi?
Just the we is a generalization. But every time I start to read the the Robotech book that I get wrapped up into that. So
that's all right.
I've moved on. I finished up the fastest source book for the
Steiners.
Not the Steiners. I finished that a while ago. The cartoon. The cartoon.
Oh, Somerset Strikers.
Yeah. So then I moved on to. Actually, I moved on to House Kurita for some reason.
Your natural enemies.
Yeah, I guess I got to refigure out why I didn't like those guys in the first place.
Know thy enemy.
But that's it as far as movies and books. I haven't read too many comics. Video games, I think when I do get a chance to play video games, it's either a Civ or Surviving Mars, which has drones, so I guess you can call it mech.
Nice.
You need the drones to build the habitats and everything.
That's an RTS, right? That one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's pretty fun.
And Civ does have giant robots in it.
The giant death stompy robots, I guess. What are they called? Giant death robots?
Giant death robots, yeah. The OP.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen War for Cybertron, definitely got to see it. It was really good. I'll give you more of an update on the RPG of Robotech once I actually finish the book.
Hey, we might have a little thing coming up all about that. So
yeah. So I think my next step with this RPG book is to actually try and make a character and see how that actually pans out now.
I like how you can make characters. You don't have to play the ones from the show. I like that.
I do too. I very much like it.
Because a lot of games, if they're just licensed games, they would just be like, "Oh yeah, you're playing as Rick."
Also, as far as role-playing games and things like that, I like the options, and it all depends on who you're playing with too. Because you always, I know in the past, way back in the day, you always had the one guy who made a character, but it was basically either Darth Vader or Luke Skywalker.
Right.
Just the same thing, just a different name. And I'm like, oh, come on. You're supposed to use your imagination and make something else up.
His name is Duke Airstrider.
Yeah. Duke.
He's an American.
Oh, God. So, I mean, and with this Robotech, I can see where you can, you're not stuck to, and it opens it up to allowing you to be your own squadron leader, too. You know, you don't have to be old Roy.
Yeah. Make your own squadron. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, but again, that comes down to the type of player you are. Like, I wouldn't want to make a character that was someone from a ready-made cartoon already, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a matter of what you like, yeah.
So, but that's all I got for ComStar.
Cool. Well, we'll move on to the MechBay Hanger, and we'll discuss some stuff.
Yeah, this is going to be the Brian hour.
Yeah.
Next.
we're relying heavily on Brian for this one.
Now entering the MechBay Hanger.
Welcome to the MechBay Hanger. Tonight, we're going to continue the thing. It's probably been like 6 months since we talked about the last one, was what we should watch, but the Japanese version. Some of these we have watched, but some we have not. And we'll go over them quickly, because there is a long list of Japanese mecha shows that I found. But we'll go, if you haven't watched it, we'll throw it to the community. Hopefully they have watched it and they can comment and see what they have to say about it. But I have a feeling Brian has seen a lot of these.
Yeah, that's safe to say.
So the first one that we're talking about is called Gargantia on the Verdurous Planet. Verdurous. I will say right now, I'm going to mispronounce 90% of these things, so get ready for that.
Oh, yeah.
This one was 2013, a anime, and it's pretty much just a show about, it's by Production IG, that got me interested. But they're the ones who did Ghost in the Shell, obviously. But yeah, there's a humanoid mecha in it called Chamber, but it's about just some people in space, and they find alien species and stuff. Brian, have you seen this one?
I have, or at least the original anime run, which was like 13 episodes.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Yeah. I remember watching it on Netflix a while back.
Oh, it was on Netflix?
Again, a while back.
Yeah, a lot of shows go in and out.
There was a run there where Netflix had a really impressive anime library.
Prime does too, but unfortunately, it doesn't have a lot of the Mecha ones. I looked through them. Like maybe I could, if I search by name, I'll be able to find them. But yeah, so there's one coming up. I think we're going to talk about next that I could not find anywhere. So how do you?
The other thing, like with another little credit that's worth pointing out is that Gargantia also had some writing done for a couple episodes by Gen Urobuchi, who's a pretty famous writer in some more recent anime franchises, notably like the Fate Zero series. He's one of the big writers for that. He does some dark stuff, so. But no, it was a really good show.
Yeah, it was good.
Check it out.
Oh, he did. He also wrote some of those obsolete shows from Bandai. He put them on YouTube there. The obsolete. So that's cool. They're really fun. I wish they expanded that into a real show. So that's interesting. Yeah, he did that. So yeah. What else? I'm trying to see if there's anything else I recognize, but I don't think so.
He did the magical girl show Magica, which was more anime fans will probably recognize that name than people that are just focused in Mecha. But
yeah,
that was also a really popular show.
Cool. So Gargantua has got the thumbs up from Brian. Pat, have you seen Gargantua?
I have not seen Gargantia.
Nah, I didn't think so. I haven't seen either. I did, for most of these, I think I searched for Mecha anime, so that's how I found these lists, so that's where we're getting these. So it'll be random what we're going to be talking about.
When did this come out? Was it just recently? It sounds like
2013. 2013 was an original series.
It was
pretty much, I lose touch with anime around the 90s.
See, I think I'm random. Yeah, I think 2000, I think I was randomly watching some, but most after like 2000, I'd say 10s, there's definitely, I have a big empty spot for myself too.
It actually might be the newest anime on this list.
Yeah.
There might be one or two that are pretty close, but.
Yeah.
Was this straight anime or did this start as a manga?
I think it was anime and then they made a manga out of it, like one of those, they have those TV magazines in Japan where they do the anime version, or manga versions of animes. I'm pretty sure it was anime first, then a manga.
Yeah, a manga adaptation.
Yeah. Next is the one that I was searching for to frickin' stream anywhere, and is not available, except for there's a new streaming platform somebody told me about. Now, I can't remember what it's called, though. But this is Armor Trooper Votoms. The scope dog, like the coolest looking suits. And I really want to watch this. It's originally came out in 83 as a manga, and then 85 as some video animations. So this is older one. But yeah, just because the mecha looks so cool, that's what I've always wanted to watch this, but I just cannot find it anywhere.
This is actually one where I lose a bit of mecha, credit on my card, so to speak. I have not seen Votoms yet, and I want to. Like you're saying, you can't really find it.
I'm going to try to see if I can find. Why
do you find this is so hard to find?
It's just not available on any of the streaming platforms.
I wonder how this one slipped by my radar as well.
I know that's
right in my anime era.
Yeah, and it's also got. I've seen the mech designs tons. Like you see them
85,
everywhere.
86, 88, 88 to 89. I mean, yeah, it's 80s and the 90s.
Yeah, this
for
is
a lot of their stuff.
Right.
Yeah, this should be exactly your stuff.
How did I miss this one?
I know they're called scope dogs.
Yeah, that's it. The suits, yeah. But this is the one that I'm really, really wanting to find, and I really can't find anywhere. The H.
I'm looking at some pics. It says there's a trailer poster here that says Armored Trooper Votoms OVAs are coming. So there's some OVAs out there.
I wonder if it might be getting like one of those. Okay, so Studio Sunrise. Like I'm thinking it might be getting like one of those kind of like Kickstarter releases, like some projects had, like Bubblegum Crisis and PatLabor. Had the.
And what was that one? Star.
All right, so I'm on
Star Blazers.
Star Blazers.
I'm just looking at some. Because I wanted to see some graphics, and I see a Blu-ray disc, Armored Trooper Votoms OVA Collection 1, and in the corner it says "Made in Japan."
Yeah, I wonder if it has the English subs or.
There's a role-playing game for Votoms.
Do you know Made in Japan's, Brian? Maiden, not as in made in.
But Maiden,
as in fairly,
no, I'm not very familiar with them. Section 23, okay. That name is much more familiar.
Yeah, there's OVA Volume 2, TV collection. So yeah, there's a bunch of Blu-rays out here which you probably might be able to...
That would work if I had a Blu-ray player, which I do not. There is a new streaming service called High Dive someone was talking about. Once again, if anybody knows anything about this, let us know. But it's got a lot of anime. Obviously, you have to pay for it, but I think it's relatively cheap. It's like $5. So I wanted to see if there was I forgot to look, but I wanted to see if there was a Fire Stick app for it so that I could actually watch it on my Fire Stick for this High Dive. But supposedly Votoms is on that, so might have to check out High Dive, HIDIVE. So
yeah,
Votoms is like number one on this list that I want to see. Like I've heard so much good stuff about it that I need to see this. And once again, like
one where it says VRV, watch on VRV. It says
VRV. That could be. The problem is, there's some of them are like the illegal ones that give you viruses. So
I don't know. This one says start watching.
Yeah, it's probably got viruses. Because what was that other one that just got shut down, and everybody's like, "Oh, I'm so upset," and then it's like, "No, that thing was full of Russian viruses, and your computer's probably been infected." What's that?
Or is it Kiss Anime or Ask Anime or something?
Yeah, one of those ones. Yeah.
It's .co. What is co?
Virus Haven. That's what that is.
Yeah, not good.
Yeah. Don't be sending me viruses. You sent me a link to this. But I'm going to check out, definitely going to check out this High Dive, and I'll report back on High Dive.
You have to make an account to watch it.
Yeah, because they want your information.
You know what it is? This is streaming from High Dive.
Oh, it's High Dive? Okay.
It just says channel High Dive in the corner.
Yeah. So, yep, that's Votoms. Next one's called Mars Daybreak, which is, once again, it's a little older. It's 2004.
Mm-hmm.
And it's on TV Tokyo. This is Bandai, though. This is a Bandai show. Yep. Brian, have you seen this show?
I actually owned this show at one point. It was a fun one. It's basically like Mars was terraformed, but there's like one big giant ocean on it, and shenanigans happen from there. It was a fun show.
On a mech mech level, how mechy is it?
I'm trying to admittedly, it's been a while since I watched this one.
Probably 2004.
It was after that for sure, but at least probably 10 years. I'm trying to actually remember what the mechs even look like.
Yeah, I was trying to see if there was a picture. I hadn't seen one.
Ones. But I think I'm trying to remember who all worked on this. I know Lex Elaine is one of the voices on the English dub, who's a pretty cool guy.
It's always funny hearing, like, on the dubs, you hear a lot of the Critical Role people and stuff on a lot of these anime dubs. I'm like, hey, I know that voice.
Yeah, this was also by Studio Bones, which also, I think around the same time was when they did Eureka 7, or Eureka 7, I should say, which was another, I'm actually surprised that one's not on this list. That was a good show, too.
Did that have mechs in it, though?
Oh, yeah, that one did.
See, that's why this is an incomplete list. That's why, unless it's further down the list, but I don't think it is. I must say this is definitely an incomplete list. That's why it's good for people to give us some more suggestions. The mechs for this, I just looked up the Mars Daybreak mechs. They look very Evangelion, I would say, a little bit. Even a little Escaflowne in there. So it's that kind of feel to them. A little more like skinny mechs. Cool.
Yeah.
Gotta check that out. Then we got She, the Ultimate Weapon. It's the She, the Ultimate Weapon. Also, it's got a Japanese name. That's Saikano. Yeah, the last love song on this little.
I thought I clicked on the wrong link. I was like, "What the hell is this? This ain't no mech."
Yeah,
last love song on this little planet.
Brian, have you seen this one?
Okay, so I have not seen this one.
So this is a manga.
But my younger brother had the manga, and I read a little bit of it. Basically, it's like this. It does lean a bit more on the romance side of things.
Yeah. With that name, I'm not surprised.
I think it's like this girl is got a whole bunch of like crazy robotic weapons built into her.
Oh yeah, so
I think is Chisei, and then the main guy like falls in love with her, kind of thing. They're high school sweethearts, but like I don't know if I'm spoiling it, but I think the world ends at the end. But
that's a bit of a spoiler.
I don't like. I actually
you're so unsure of it though. We're not sure if it's a spoiler.
Yeah, like I can't actually remember because I don't think I ever actually got to the end. And I'm trying to remember if my brother told me.
I'm getting my manga all mixed up. Maybe the Earth blew up in this one. I forget.
It didn't seem like things were going well when I last left that series. So
yeah. This one, I don't know why they consider you Mecha. It sounds more like Robot Girl, kind of.
Yeah, it's like I honestly don't know why it would be Mecha series.
Yeah,
but
it's I don't understand why it's on the list.
Maybe Mecha showed up later.
Yeah, who knows? Well, but I what's that?
I've been just kind of perusing the wiki here, and I don't see any mentions of any kind of mechs.
Well, I guess the girl, like, they consider her, but that's like, then you'd have to include things like, Battle Angel, Alita, and things like that, like, at that point.
Yeah. It's
more cyber
more Battle Angel kind
or
of
robot.
Yeah, this is definitely more cyborg than...
Or even if she's a full robot, it's more like, Astro Boy or something like that.
Well, she's not a full robot. She's definitely a girl.
Yeah, but is she? Maybe she just looks like a girl, Pat.
No, I've been reading because I don't see myself in the near future watching this anime at all.
We'll go to the next one then. I think that was a mistake on this list. Whoever made this list, you failed me. This one's definitely Mecha, and I've definitely heard of it. It's LaGrange. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. The Flower of Rin-ne. And giant robots are aplenty in this one. And I know, Brian, you've seen this one. This is a pretty classic one, right? 2012.
So I have not seen this one. It's been on my list for a while. One of my good friends of the show, Nick Azumi, watched and really loved this show. It was really good for him. I think it has a really chipper, like, main character. And honestly, I don't know much more to say about that.
Cool. Well, there you go. We found one. I thought for sure you'd seen this one.
Yeah, I've heard really good things, and I've always intended to watch it. I think that's another Studio IG production. But
production.
Never got around to it yet.
Those guys are pretty prolific.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, 2012, this one, licensed by Viz in North America too, so it should be available. That with around, we'll have to. Once again, it's always hard to know what streaming platforms. There should be a list of streaming platforms in the wiki where they are.
I think this was on Crunchyroll.
Crunchyroll, yeah.
I can actually, going back to streaming and what else we're looking at, Armor Trooper Votoms, I can actually maybe run the Mitsu and see if I can find it there.
Yeah, for sure. I guarantee it'll be there on Blu-ray or DVD. That place had everything.
Yeah.
Once again, I don't have a Blu-ray player or a DVD player, so.
You don't have one on your computer?
No, of course not. We're living the 21st century. Who has any kind of players anymore? It's all digital, people.
It is until you don't need it.
Yeah, that's right. Until you really want it.
Or they lose the license and you can't watch it anymore.
Yeah, that happens a lot too.
And this, do you find something that's not being streamed?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to try this high dive. Maybe that might be the place.
It's like records, man. Everyone remember MP3s. You never need another record.
You don't. There's something called Spotify. You don't need any of that stuff. The next on the list is Full Metal Panic. This is not a mecha show either, is it?
Oh yeah, it is.
Is it? There's mechs in this?
Oh yeah. This one, this is actually a really good mecha series.
Did this start as a manga too?
I think
I believe so,
as
yeah.
light novels.
Oh, really? Yeah, novels, yep. 1998 was novels, then it was the manga in 2000, and then animated series in 2002.
What's a light novel as opposed to a novel?
It's like half the length of a novel. A typical novel.
Novella.
Short story, no?
Or novella.
Novella.
Yeah, more like a novella.
All right. I thought that was some kind of Japanese thing.
It is.
That's what they call it.
Yeah.
We
call them novellas, they call them light novels. Yeah.
I thought light novels was something like special, different.
You thought it included holograms?
Or something.
Well, sometimes they do come with art. Like they'll often have art drawn up for like the covers and stuff. And so they're basically like novels that are geared more towards like an anime audience almost. That might be presumptuous of me, but like.
I think that's
I've gotten a couple.
Safe to say, I think that's what they're targeting for sure.
But no, this is actually one of the better mecha series out there. I think. Basically,
this is
like
actually published in Dragon Magazine.
I think that's not the same Dragon Magazine. It's a Dragon Magazine in Japan called that.
So it's a world where it's like how to describe Full Metal Panic? This one character who's a sergeant in this military organization has to go undercover to protect a high school girl who's being targeted by bad guys, and they do so with these mechs that can have can go invisible. They have like optic camouflage and stuff like that. And so like it's funny because the next thing on our list, I'm just going to combine them because it's actually...
Yeah, it's the same show, pretty much, right? Second season, pretty much.
It's the second season that's a bit more comedy-centric. It's called Fumofu, Full Metal Panic Fumofu. And that one really kind of plays with the tropes of like, we've got a mascot character, so he's going to run around with a shotgun that shoots rubber bullets. and like the undercover character is like this hardcore military guy who's just so out of place when he goes to high school. And it's a really funny show too. But the core series does have some really solid like serious moments. So if you like a more mature mecha show, definitely check out is the original series Full Metal Panic, and then they had a Fumofu was kind of a second season, and then there was a third called The Second Raid, and then they just had a new season come out not too long ago, a couple years back, called I think it was Full Metal Panic Victory. I do want to check that one out. Good stuff. Nice.
Well, there you go. It's one of those ones I've heard of.
Too.
I've heard of, but I never knew much about. So it's like I always see the manga everywhere. Like it's one of those ones that's like every time you go into anywhere that has manga, you always see that the Full Metal Panic books. So that's cool.
Yeah, and it definitely leans in that more real mecha kind of vibe. So like they're like giant armored tanks.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That's good. Next one on the list, I think we've talked about it quite a bit, is PatLabor and PatLabor.
Yeah.
Everybody,
we talk about that a lot.
Yeah, we talk about this a lot. Yeah. And if you haven't watched it, it's great. It is, once again, it's pretty funny, but it's especially the first series was really good. The first OVAs. It was a lot funnier, and then it got pretty serious. And the movies are very serious, like crazy serious. But the series are pretty funny. So if you're into the funny stuff, watch the series. But if you wanted serious stuff, watch the movies. I would say for PatLabor. Yeah, pretty cool. We've talked about that. Next one is something I'm getting to, because I want to watch this, and I have the series, is the Bubblegum Crisis series. Mm-hmm. Another classic one. This is from 87. I think
I remember this one clear. This is one of my few on this list that I know of. This
one's definitely a cyberpunk feel.
Oh, yeah.
And there's been...
this was 100% Blade Runner.
Yeah. There's a heavy Blade Runner.
Blade Runner meets Streets of Fire, strangely enough. For anyone who's seen that movie.
I love Streets of Fire.
Oh, sweet. I'm not like the only three people.
No, I love Streets of Fire also. I love that movie.
Awesome. These are my people.
Yeah, it's great to...
It's a rockin' show. Like, it's got a great 80s soundtrack to it. Both English and Japanese. Like, the English songs that they did were spot on. Like, they're really good. And I don't think you can find them anywhere. Like, I don't think they released an English track.
Oh, yeah.
I might have the role-playing game.
There's a role-playing game, yeah?
In a box, yeah. Asterian Games made it back in the mid-90s, I think.
Oh, did they? Was it like a add-on to Cyberpunk, or was it its own game?
It was its own game.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Asterian Games did the original Cyberpunk, didn't they?
Yep, and they do Cyberpunk Red, too, that we've been playing.
Wow. I didn't put two together just now. It's like a light bulb just went on. It's crazy.
And they also are working with CD Projekt Red on Cyberpunk 2077. We actually met Mike Pondsmith, the guy who created Cyberpunk, at Gen Con. We just didn't, at the time, we didn't realize it was him.
We did. Oh, the guy, is that who we were talking to?
Yeah, at the booth. It was the actual man himself.
You should have said something, man.
I didn't realize it was him at the time either. I was just like, I was buying Cyberpunk Red at the time. And, you know, like, you don't really know who the designers are. You just, later on, because of Cyberpunk 2077, there's tons of interviews with him now. I'm like, oh yeah, we met him. Didn't even realize it. It's so funny when that happens, especially at Gen Con. That happens a lot, where somebody will walk up, and you like talk to him, and then you realize, hey, wait, that was somebody famous. Or famous in the game industry, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty funny.
It's always good, though, when they're just nice guys, because he generally is a nice guy.
Oh, yeah, super nice. That's
cool.
Yeah, so it's cool that, there you go, Bubblegum Crisis. This is definitely on my list, because I'm going to watch it. Next is one I think I've seen a long time ago, Vandread. And it's been a while, for sure. It came out in 2000. But, Brian, have you seen this one?
I remember hearing about it, but it slipped under my radar.
Yeah, I think it's one... I don't have a good enough memory of it to really describe what it's like, but it's one of those classic anime with spacefaring and different things like that. But
I'm reading it, and apparently there's a gender war.
Well, it is Japanese television, so
it says men and women are completely segregated.
Yeah, but it's I don't even remember what the mechs look like. It's one of those things. There's so many shows, and as it goes farther back in my memory, there's a space. Pretty much after I started drinking, that I don't remember much. Before that, when I was a kid, I remember everything, and then like recently, I remember within like the past few days, but in between there, not much. But yeah, so if anybody has watched it,
there's a manga for this. So
oh yeah. A lot of these are either started as a manga and went to anime, or anime and then they did the manga off them. It's almost every single Japanese one is like that. But if anybody actually has watched it, let us know and tell us how it is. Next one is called Dual Parallel Trouble Adventure. Anybody?
No.
I think I remember seeing one episode of this on... Tech TV had it.
Oh, yeah?
When they had an anime block.
That's right. Yeah, 1999, so it's about the right time, yep.
And another friend of mine kind of summarized it, or if I'm thinking of the same show, basically, from what he told me, is like it kind of wanted to be Evangelion, but did Evangelion like badly.
Oh, yeah?
So,
well, did it do it badly, or did it just not be as crazy? That's the question.
probably a little bit of both.
Yeah. Especially if it was on regular television, so.
This one, I was thinking of Vandread looking very Tenchi Muyo, but this one is very Tenchi Muyo.
Yeah.
I think that's the same team, actually.
I wouldn't be surprised, yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, once again, let us know. This one, the next one is one that Brian's been telling about us forever, Gurren Lagann.
Gurren Lagann.
Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann.
Yeah.
There's always a Gurren Lagann reference for Brian.
Yeah, this is one of your favorites, I would think?
Yeah, I would. It's safe to say it's not without its problems, but it's Studio Gainax arguably at close to the peak of their game, or at least as far as making a series and not running out of money by the end. But it's a crazy, over-the-top super robot show, and it's got a lot of heart to it, and it brings the energy. Like it's pretty fantastic. I admittedly like the series more than I like the movies. They did I think 2 movies that basically are like summaries of the plot, but they changed stuff for the finale that I disagree with, as far as like not from like a hoity-toity stance, but like it is like in the series there were some very poignant moments, and those moments are kind of lost when they did the movie, and so I'm just like it doesn't resonate as well. But all that said and done, it's a fantastic show in both English and Japanese. And it's very trope heavy, so you'll recognize a whole bunch of stuff that you've seen before.
I do love like the way you said that they go to business. The rights to this show have gone through like 5 different people.
Yeah, it's got a weird history with that, because it was a series that Bandai had around the time that Bandai like in the US closed. And so the Funimation, I think. Wait, was it Funimation or Aniplex? Aniplex. Yeah. Bought the rights to it, and they've been doing some really weird releases of it since. The kind that Aniplex is famous for, which is, jacking up the price to like over $300 for a series. And like I looked at it, I'm like, well, I've got these DVDs that I got for maybe like $50 total.
Yeah.
And so it's like, and you're adding very little. I have issues with Aniplex. Let's just say that.
Well, it sounds like they're just taking advantage of the fans, right?
They've set themselves up as like providing a very like what's the word I'm looking for? Like they put in like art books and stickers and all these kind of extra materials and stuff. It's like a very kind of elite, if you will. They're going for this high end consumer, and the downside is they do have some really good shows in their catalog, which means you're paying an arm and a leg to get it if you want to have it. The Fate franchise, the Fate Stay Night and stuff like that is one that they own now, and you're getting charged like over $100 per season, like 12 episodes or something like that.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's streaming.
Anyway, that's the soapbox.
Yeah. Next we got Gunbuster from 88, I think, or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, original is 88. Yep. They've had more releases after.
Gunbuster, I know.
It's the Neon Genesis Evangelion director.
Yep. Yeah. Same team. This is their first like standalone project, I think.
No.
They had another one before that. I think it was the Wings of Haname's, but Gunbuster was their kind of first original idea, and it shows. They ran out of money by the end. It might look it was funny because the copy of the series I've got, like on DVD, included this excerpt from like some guy that like put the packaging together, and he was like, he's got this little article included about how he loves the show and what it means to him. And there's this whole section where he's like, it's so artistic that they switched to black and white, and then they just show storyboards and stuff like that. I'm like, no, they ran out of money. They couldn't pay for color.
That's funny.
But no, it's another series that's not without its problems. It's very short. It's like 6 episodes.
Yeah.
But it's got some genuinely, like, much like Gurren Lagann, some genuinely like uplifting and empowering moments to it. And the sequel series Diebuster, it kind of helps balance the two out. They're both kind of have their problems, but if you watch them back to back, it creates a very unique and interesting experience.
Yeah.
Pat, where did you see this? Somewhere along the line?
Yeah, my friend's dad always bring home anime from Japan.
Oh, that's cool.
So this was a actual V8, one of the VH1s I saw.
Nice.
A VHS tape with the dub, not the dub, with the subtitles.
Subtitles.
Yeah. This was subbed only, I think.
And then this is the one where time dilation comes into play. We talked about that last episode.
Yeah, the time dilation is a big.
When the pilots came back from Earth, came back from the war.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And their friends and family are all older.
Yeah.
And everything.
Yeah. So, it was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
But like Brian said, you could definitely tell when things start to go south.
Next is
said, in the 80s, it looked good. It still looks all right.
You didn't know any better at the time, right?
Yeah.
Next one.
I mean, it's still like that very detailed, oriented, like artistic vision and stuff like that. And that's what happened is like they were so detailed in it that when they got to the end, it's like, oh, we ran out of money.
Yeah. Yeah, they were trying they overshot their mark on it.
Mm-hmm.
Next one, I mentioned a Macross, so I chose Macross Plus in this one. This was the pretty much sequel to the original Macross, and takes place, what is it, like 3 decades later, after the original series.
Yeah. After the war with the Zentradi.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anything to say about Macross Plus as a show?
So, if you ever wanted Top Gun in your Robotech or Macross, this is it, and it's beautifully animated. I'm not even kidding. Like, this thing is just gorgeous to look at.
This is like one of the first animes that started cell shading, right?
I don't
mixed with computer generated animation.
They did. I don't know if Ghost in the Shell takes that claim more often than not, but this is of the same quality. Like this is,
it's one of the.
And it's an OVA series.
I would say one of the early ones. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an OVA series that also became. There's a movie version of it that pares it down, but does add a couple scenes. I actually like the movie version a bit more, but that you do lose. There's some stuff that gets cut out, but it's one of my favorite stories because it's a very mature story about immature people, and it's got Yoko Kanno doing an industrial pop soundtrack from the 90s. I think this is 94.
Yep,
is when this one came out. And
so it was actually a year before Ghost in the Shell. Ghost in the Shell was 95.
Oh, yeah. Then probably. But no, it is a joy to watch and an experience, and it shows you the dangers of letting a Vocaloid have access to a super dimensional fortress that still has ammo in it for some reason.
You gotta be prepared, just in case those pesky Centrati come back.
And Bryan Cranston was on the English dub.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Breaking Bad himself.
That's hilarious.
Oh, yeah, he does. He is. He's the...
Isamu Dyson.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Then we got one called Gasaraki? Anybody know about this one? I'm amazed. By the look of it, it looks like a 2000 something one, but it's 1998. Like just the look of it looks a lot more modern than that. Looks really nice.
Oh, you know what? I do know this one, but not because I watched it, because I thought the cover was cool because it had that demon-looking thing guy in the front.
Yeah, demon mech kind of thing. Yeah.
The demon armor.
I have not seen this one actually, but I know of it.
So it's a bipedal weapons known as TA, tactical armor. But yeah, just by looking at the cover, it's once again the animation looks really nice. Cool.
Yeah, I don't know. Other than that, I don't know too much about this thing.
Oh, that's neat. It's in ancient Japan, they created demonic armor in order to defeat their enemies, and then 100 years later, they turned them into tactical armor for military use. That's kind of cool.
That makes sense.
That sounds like a neat concept, yeah. So if anybody's seen a Gasaraki, I'm sure I'm not pronouncing that right. I'm sure there's... No, I'm sure the syllables are in different spots.
It definitely looks like more of a real mecha kind of, like a real robot kind of show too.
Yeah, it looks fun.
I dig.
Yeah, okay. That's once again got to find it somewhere. This is one that I've watched, and I think you guys both watched this. Is Mazinkaizer SKL. This is the most metal. I've said it many times. Metal show ever. It is like a heavy metal dream or a nightmare. It's pretty crazy. Fun, but nuts. like nuts as in this non-stop crazy action, so.
Yeah. And it's got Mazinkaizer, which is my second favorite Kaiser robot.
Yeah. Yeah, this is sort of a spin-off of the original Mazinkaizer, kind of a
Mazinger.
Yeah, Mazinger Z, I mean, yeah. And, yeah, it's kind of an interesting show. We talked about this a while ago. It was pretty fun. It is crazy, like...
It is. It's funny, so...
Yeah.
And the Mazinkaizer mech is ridiculously looking. It's awesome.
Yeah, it is pretty, like... Once again, it's a metal video. Heavy metal right there. Then we got... Metal. Gravion. Anybody heard of this one?
I have not.
Produced by Gonzo. And it's, once again, this one's from 2004. And, yeah, don't know much about this one. There's Gravion and Gravion Zwei. So it
looks like it was a television series first, and then...
Yeah, anime. 2002, 13 episodes, and then there were 12 episodes. So it had two, the Zwei or Zwei.
Think of Power Rangers.
It's 2004, yeah. It's a little after Power Rangers time, but...
Yeah, but let's be honest, Power Rangers, even as much as I don't like them, they do put through a lot of influence in the anime.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they the beginning of, in Japan especially, the beginning of, what they call them there? They have a name for those shows.
A Samurai Sentai?
Yeah, Sentai, yeah.
Yeah.
They really, that influenced a lot of the later mecha shows for sure.
Mm-hmm.
We got Martian successor Nadesco. Anyways.
Nadesco.
Yeah. Another famous one from 96. This is a classic one. You got a mobile battleship involved. But you guys see this one?
I have not seen this one.
I'm amazed. This is your time.
But this was on my list to check out. I've heard really good things about it.
Yeah, it's one of those classic ones that, once again, yeah, I haven't seen either, which is funny because it is one of the ones that you always hear about. But you gotta love it. In Japan, there's a Bandai channel. Why don't we have that here?
Because we used to have the anime channel, which we don't have anymore.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Crazy. I guess I'm amazed because there's a lot of kids who love that kind of stuff, and I'm amazed that it's not successful enough.
What happened to the Anime Network? Anime Network is a Canadian pay television network.
It was Canadian? Wow.
Yeah.
I was going to make a joke about we don't get good things like that in Canada, but obviously we do. I just didn't know about it, and I didn't support it. That's why we don't have them anymore.
That's the big thing, I think.
Do I have to pronounce this one? This is
Ginga
Hyoryu VFAM.
Oh, I always thought it was just VFAM.
VFAM, yes. Also known as Galactic Drifter VFAM. 1983 mech, so this is a really early one.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know anything about
Yoru.
I do think it looks very Gundam, just the art style, but early Gundam.
Early.
Oh, it's by the same creator as Mobile Suit Gundam. Makes sense.
Yoshiki Tomino.
Yeah. So it makes sense that it is very similar style. The far-flung future of 2058 is coming up, people.
The distant future of 2058.
Hostile alien forces.
Astrogators.
There's human colonies, so it's got a little, it's a little bit farther. It's 43 light years away from Earth, so it's a little bit farther away. It's not just piloting. But yeah, I don't know much about this one. For being so old, I actually never even heard of this one, so it's pretty strange, especially since it is by the Mobile Suit Gundam creator.
The rest of your list is pretty obscure, honestly.
Yeah. No, not really. Fang of the Sun Dougram is coming.
Oh, no, Dougram. I know Dougram.
Yeah. Blue Comet SPT Leisner. Once again, this is an early one, 85. It has that 80s look to it, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, I know this one. Now that I see the pictures of it.
Yeah, you probably, along your way, you probably saw this one.
Yeah, I don't think I watched it a lot. But I did see it.
The designs make me think of Mosquito.
Yeah, for sure, Mosquito feel to it. Alien invasion and totalitarian world occupation and resistance and Cold War. It does kind of sound like Mosquito a bit.
I wonder if we can get these models.
Did they have
it does
kits
look like
from?
There's a bunch of them.
Because this Braver is awesome.
Yeah, and even the guys in the suits inside the mechs look awesome too. It looks really good, yeah, for the time. Once again, hopefully the story is good. It takes place in the far-flung future of 1996. Yeah, it looks
the
cool.
distant future of 1996.
Bandai had plans to release it in the summer of 2001 in the U.S., but never did.
Oh yeah, never got released.
Oh yeah, because it's the official story is that they got damaged. Blue-tinted video masters and unable to get the replacements.
Yeah.
A likely story.
And then Bandai lost the license.
Oh, the guy who did this did Votoms and Dougram, so it makes sense.
Oh, this year's is including the Super Robot Wars J and Super Robot Wars GC video games for the Game Boy Advance and GameCube.
That's funny. So it's once again, it's probably a famous one in Japan, like a classic one. Same with Dougram. The next one we're talking about, Fang of the Sun Dougram.
Oh, Dougram is...
Because it's one of these models was used as for Battletech. That's where we know it from. It's I think it's a Griffin. I think is this one, but or a Griffin or the Shadowhawk, one of the two. And yeah, maybe both. This is once again 81 to 83, so a really early one again.
Yeah, I watched this one. This one when I was a kid.
Yeah, this is one of those ones where you see the animation style and you're like, oh yeah, it reminds me of those really early.
Oh yeah.
Early shows.
This is one of the ones that started me, with the Battletech. I think the Dougram was on the original cover of the Battletech, wasn't it?
I think it's on one of the covers of one of them. It wasn't on the actual box set. That's usually a Warhammer or a Rifleman, I think. But yeah. But another classic one I haven't seen, but it's famous. 75 episodes.
I do have a Dougram model that needs to be built.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
And it's the same guy as Votoms and the one we just talked about. So there you go. Metal Armor Dragonar. Once again, never heard of this one. 1987.
The designs, strangely enough, kind of remind me of Iron-Blooded Orphans.
I was just going to say it has... it says it's very similar to Double Zeta Gundam, so... Same, must be Yeah, so it came out just after Double Zeta, so it must have been one of those ones where it was, hey, let's do something like that.
You're right. Huh.
That's funny. It says it's a potential successor to the Gundam franchise they tried to make it into. Obviously, it didn't work. Interesting. So, once again, Dragonar, if anybody's seen that. Space Runaway Ideon. This one's another early one, 80 to 81.
Yeah, I did not see this one.
I have not, but it seems pretty infamous for being super violent.
Oh, yeah? For a kid show?
Well, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't this the one that has the little clip you see around where like a little kid gets his head shot off?
It is by the same creator as Gundam.
Yeah.
So I think this was a precursor to, well, I guess Gundam was 79 though, wasn't it? So
yeah, Gundam was 79.
Yeah, so this came out just after that. So
it's
yeah.
supposed to be like a super giant, like this robot in here is supposed to be just ginormous.
One of the, world size.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna see if it is the one where the child gets his head blown off. Crazy. Those early Japanese shows, they did not care.
No.
There's nudity in, like, the original Gundam. I was, like, children bathing and stuff. I'm like, whoa, settle down. Settle down, Japan. And last one's Metal Skin Panic Maddox 01. This one looks really cool to me. 1987. I like the design of it's more like a powered armor. A little bit bigger than a normal powered armor, but it looks pretty cool.
Directed by Shinji Aramaki.
Yeah. And,
I didn't see this one either. This one must look bad my radar too.
Makes me think of the mechs in like the Ghost in the Shell.
A little bit. Or, even like...
Or Appleseed, I guess.
Yeah, Appleseed. Yeah, more like Appleseed, yeah. And, also reminds me of, what is it? Die, Repeat, what is that, Tom Cruise movie, but the manga?
Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah. What was the anime called? I can't remember. Live, Die, Repeat? Something like that.
Oh, All You Need Is Kill.
Oh yeah, that was the original one, yeah. Gotta love that name. But yeah, these look...
The this thing look really awesome. I need to see this show.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. And there's, different Maddox is the name of suits. 0, 1, and 2. Yeah, it looks fun. Licensed in 89 for North America. So there is English dub versions too.
This guy also directed Appleseed.
What a coincidence.
And Starship Troopers, Trader of Mars.
And Megazone 23. And one of the Evangelions. That's interesting. And Ghost in the Shell. The new Ghost in the Shell show. He directed some. So we can see his influences. There you go.
And Ultraman. And the new Ultraman.
Is he part of that too? Wow.
Yep.
So that was a long one, but I think we covered it now. We've covered every single Japanese and North American anime now. So
and some that weren't anime.
Wow, we were close. Yeah, but if there is any we've missed, which is impossible because we covered them all, please do comment below on the post on Facebook or talk to us in the Discord and to let us know what your other favorite ones are. Like, I'm sure, Brian, you could probably think of 20 off the top of your head, but...
Yeah, where's Code Geass on this list?
It was an incomplete list, I would give it that much.
I noticed, like, Gundam is not on this.
Yeah, I think I edited out Gundam and Macross and those kind of ones. I'm pretty sure I edited some of the famous ones.
That would be a pretty big omission.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't have Gundam or Macross? Yeah, I think you're missing something with the genre. The two biggest ones, I would think. I don't think Evangelion. Actually, Evangelion wasn't on there either. But those ones would be the biggest three. I would say they'd be the top three anime that pretty much, if you haven't watched those, some of those at least. Pat, you've never watched Evangelion, have you?
No.
I would say it's an experience.
It is an experience.
It's good. The storytelling is crazy, but it is really well done.
I felt betrayed after that. Darling in the Fronds.
you got to keep your head down sometimes, but this time it's me telling you.
I was pretty upfront about what that series was.
You did. You didn't lie to us.
Anyway.
You did. There was a big disclaimer when you first talked about that. I'll give you that much.
True.
We'll go into the ExFil. I think we've covered everything, but please,
I think we did. Yeah.
It's a conversation starter, if anything. And if you've watched any of the ones we have no clue about, or if you want to correct us on anything we're stupid about, please let us know about that too. Because
definitely. Or if there's any ones that we haven't seen that you would recommend, other than the Votoms.
Let us know if Saikano does end with the world ending.
Yes. And yeah. You have to also remember, we're remembering this. Some of these we watched when we were children. So if our memory wasn't 100% on that, it's blame all the alcohol. We'll be going to the ExFil and we'll get the hell out of here.
You got it.
Let's ExFil out of here.
And this is the ExFil. We're going to make it quick and short because this is a long one. We had a lot to talk about here. This is a long one?
This was a long one.
It was.
It is. It's because there's a lot of. Who knew there was a lot of mecha?
Still happening.
Who knew there was a lot of anime from mecha anime in Japan? Who knew that? I would never have guessed.
Who knew that mecha was so popular? I thought we were just a niche group.
Yeah. If our podcast was in Japanese, I think we'd get a few more hits.
Just a few.
All right,
but since it's not,
we need a Japanese person.
That's right. Pat, you're fired. We need a Japanese guy.
I'm the wrong Asian. I get it.
We will be back next month. Please do go to that Discord, Mobile Armor Radio. Please go to our Facebook page. It's both are fun places, and we post a lot of stuff.
Okay.
So, and we post different stuff. So you got to go to both.
Should we just mention that next month will be a little special episode?
We're going to have a little 0.5 episode, hopefully. Fingers crossed, nothing goes wrong. But, we're going to have a special guest on the next one. Pat mentioned the Robotech RPG. This is a person who was involved in that, and he also just recently wrote a Battletech book. So he's got his feet in both pools there. His name is Brian Young, so check out Honor's Gauntlet is the name of the book, and the new Robotech RPG from... Is that Strange Machine makes that game? That book? I believe so.
Strange Machine, I think it was.
Yeah. So check out those things and prepare yourself. We're going to talk to Brian Young on the next little short episode, probably. We'll, who knows how short it'll be, but we'll see. We'll talk to him. So we're excited about that. And then we'll be back for the real episode in October. This is September already, guys. Can you believe the summer's almost over?
That's right. The leaves are starting to change outside.
Are you nuts? That's crazy.
No, I'm being serious.
Oh, wow.
I just noticed it today.
Best thing is I live in Canada, but both of you guys are more north than I am.
No kidding.
Yep. It's
true.
Crazy geography. And with that geography class, I've been Rob.
I've been Brian.
I've been Chopper.
We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening.
Good night.
This has been Mobile Armor Radio. Join our Facebook group by searching for Mobile Armor Radio. Find us on Twitter @MArmorRadio. Find us on iTunes and visit our website, mobilearmorradio.podbean.com. Join us on the first of every month for more mecha discussion.